So I was an honor guard for about almost a year. For people that don't know, obviously Sergeant White was there with me, so he does know. Um, but yeah, so to go from being a nominee, right, for honor guardsman of the year, talking to four-star generals at the conference in DC, um, talking to and sitting with Chief Bass at the time. It wasn't the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Um, doing all these things, right? And then boom, I go back to Munns and I'm just a senior airman at a new, and I PCA'd. So I went to a new shop and I knew nothing. And people thought of me as not nothing, but just a senior airman. So to not let yourself get a bigger, like to not let you get a bigger idea of yourself than where you are, I think was also something I really needed to do because you can get some exposure at an early age. At an early state in your military career, you can get some pretty high exposure. You can get some certain things that happen to where you might think you're kind of higher than some other people. Um, I just kind of looked like stepped away from the picture and just thought it was really funny that one week I'm doing a military funeral honors for a 2-star general and talking to 4-star generals and command chiefs, and the next day I'm in a break room with like senior airmen talking about how we're going to store 5.56 rounds, and they all think that I'm just some random senior airman that did honor guard and laugh about it because I was so lazy and that I wasn't coming to work when it was 30 degrees, but we were outside, in the cold, standing completely still for an hour in the wind. So kind of being able to go through those hard times, that experiences, having those successes, having X, Y, and Z happen, and not having to explain to anybody what, why, and where. Being perfectly content with somebody thinking less or more of you, not giving them an explanation, kind of like being okay with who you are and what you've done by itself. Not expecting any recognition from it, not expecting anybody to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this, or wow, tell me about this. Like, about the only person I expect that from is my mom, because she's my mom and she'll always do that. I could tell her I ranked up in my video game and she'd be happy. So
I love that.
yeah.
I love that, man. I'm struggling with that too right now, as you kind of already know, but yeah, I'm coming off that high too. I'm coming off that wave, man. The momentum that we built, it feels like it was never ending. It feels like it's never going to stop. And we were on this ride and that was it. That was the rest. It's just going to keep coming. Yeah. It's going to keep coming. And it was just so unexpected. One win after another. And like you said, we get to have dinner with Chief Bass and one day Chief Wright's hanging out with us the next day. And yeah, you're just, as a human being, you expect that to keep going. You expect it to keep going, but there's going to be dips. There's going to be pauses. And if you focus so much on how fun it is and how big air quote it is, you kind of lose perspective of what's important, I think, which is just being the best you wherever you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got here to public health at Eglin. I'm flying high, man. And I get here and I know nothing. I've only done public health for, 4 years total out of my 16-year career. I have this amazing reputation, but it doesn't mean anything here. Mm-hmm. I can talk about it. I can show pictures.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's not helping the current team that I'm at now. So I'm definitely was struggling with that when I got here in October. That first month was a rude awakening. I had a big old slice of humble pie coming here.
Most people in PME positions, special duty positions, I feel all have felt that. So, I'm sure the people watching us that have been in that situation are nodding their heads like, yep. Being out of your career field where like that's your specific time to double down on your technical expertise and really hone in on your craft and be the expert that everybody goes to. When you're out of your career field for that time, that 2 to 3 to 4, however many years, like you come back and it's tough. It just is, because you hold the rank, but you don't hold the knowledge you think you should have or other people's might have. So I think that's a very common struggle. I think. Luckily, I was just an airman, so I was able to not, I had a little more leeway with what I was supposed to know and what I didn't know and how I could make it up in my effort and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't hide. I'm a master sergeant. Like it's very apparent with me, and there's no getting around it. I got to go through it. I can't go around it.
Right.
I want to talk to you about Honor Guard, man. I want to talk to you about your time there because